Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Battle Angel Alita Last Order Volume 18. On the cover, we have Figure, which is pretty surprising. We have someone else in the background, and we have the Ruins of Heng, I believe, was the name of the cannon meant to destroy Kethares. Not sure who's in the background. My immediate thought would be Alita, but, like, how? I mean, I assume this is going to happen. Like, we are going to see him, maybe not exactly like this. The covers aren't always, like, literal, but... Who else could it be then? All right. Oh boy. Okay. Uh, the table of contents is very interesting here. So, Last Order, Phase 106, the chapter that presumably the entire series was named after. Like, I know it's named after the Fata Morgana and the ability to give the Last Order, but what is the Last Order? Like, I guess we were still left on the thing of how in the world is Alita going to stop the Onion Frame from smashing into the moon and killing everyone? And then after that, we have Alita Quest, which, because we had Figure on the cover, I'm thinking that Alita Quest is going to be like the journey to save Alita or the journey to like resurrect Alita. Because I have multiple ideas as to where this could go. It's very possible that she'll do something here with her her Imaginos body. Again, we brought up the power of imagination last volume. She could do something and then be spent, fall to Earth, and have to be saved again. That'd be a nice way to bring it all the way back around. We could even have another 2-page spread that calls back to when Dr. Ito managed to, to pick her out of the scrapyard. But except, it's Figure. We could do a lot of things. Also, because they use Roman numerals here, this makes me think a lot of Dragon Quest. Now, I haven't really played any of the Dragon Quest games, but, like, that's what immediately jumps to mind. So I do imagine it's going to be, especially because the tournament's been this crazy thing where everyone is super powerful. I feel like this would be a good way to like have an epilogue to the series almost, where it's just a bunch of radically normal people working to save Alita or to recover her, or maybe even get her brain. That's the thing. Like maybe she dies here, like the Alita we know, the one who is undergoing this potential Ars Magna. Maybe she just dies and then the Alita quest is about getting her brain out of the box and resurrecting her that way. Yeah. Anyways. Nah. Well, at the very least, I'm glad that Jack is gonna survive. It is like I guess we've had more focus on him than on him and his announcing buddy, to the point where I do remember the name Jack Drombo. Like that's just forged into my brain. So I guess it makes sense that we'd end it with, just another solo broadcast from him. Alright, so, yes, last volume, we did say, the Onion frame has enough vessels to get everyone off, so that was never the problem. The problem is that it's gonna smash into the moon. So Alita has to either destroy it, which I could see her doing, or, like, redirect it, I guess. One of those two. Alright. Because the original Last Order was, as far as I understand it, it was meant to be a kill switch, basically. Like, if humanity is misusing Melchizedek, then Vilma would have, at some point, been able to just shut it down. Like, you don't deserve this anymore, that's it. You've outlived, you've gone too far, this is it, no more Melchizedek. And so I assume, like, obviously, Alita's not going to do that, but it's going to be something else. Like, I guess, yeah, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be final. It wouldn't be a last order if Melchizedek survives, but clearly it's going to. So I feel like this could be the last order, as in the last order given to it by Alita, because she dies. Oh, and she's disassembling herself. That'll be fine. As boldly as a dancer, as carefully as a tightrope. Oh, are we gonna get an explanation for that? Because I completely forgot about it. But yes, she went to Jupiter, and then the Jupiter robots, like the one that controls everything for them, that like it said no. As far as I remember, like it did not want to work with Alita, and then somehow she returns. So, Jupiton, that's right. Okay. All right. So how did this play out? I don't know how in the world she could have convinced it. Oh, is Melchizedek coming in here? Hey, okay. Okay. I mean, now that he's here, I can definitely see him managing to convince Jupiton. and just using Alita's, incredible karma as sort of a bargaining chip. But I definitely couldn't see Alita doing it herself. Oh, that's actually correct. Yeah. Like, now that Jupiter cannot win, it's impossible. Like, the best thing would be for a horrible disaster to happen to wipe out a bunch of people on Earth. Okay. Yeah, so what could be big enough to sway it otherwise? Okay, chess can only be played with an opponent. All right. That makes sense. Like, it is a very cocky AI. So I can definitely see, just acting on its desire to be the best. Hmm. Oh? Wait a minute. This is a question of your essential self-definition. How you define yourself changes not only your fate, but the flow of causality in the worlds. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to spin it, but I could see this being why it is that Alita came back with wings specifically. Like, what is she? Like, does she define herself to be human, an android, a copy of the real Alita? Does she consider herself to be the real Alita and for the brain to just be, something that is empty? Oh. Oh, I forgot that too. Yeah, she is connected to the wormhole. Like, she has, like, not infinite power, but a ridiculous amount of power due to that. An organic brain could not make use of them. And I really like the way that he phrases it as a miraculous system built through coincidence. It's something that in most other series it would feel very contrived. Like if Naruto had a cyborg body connected to a wormhole and a power that allows her that allows him to define the fate of humanity. Like that would feel really contrived. But because Alita, ever since the original series, they've built up this idea of karma, of fates, of her being the most important thing in the universe. Because of that, it makes it's just fitting that it would all fall together like that. Especially because it doesn't really help her at all. Like it makes her powerful, but that power doesn't mean anything to her. We would like you to be a secret agent for the Planetary Quantum Convergence Observatories. All right. Oh boy, I'm scared. Jupitan is a dangerous entity. We're gonna have to deal with it at some points. Oh, okay. So it's not even it's not that she has to say yes to opt in. It's that she's already opted in. They've already become quantumly entangled with her. So I guess if she says no, they would have to reverse it. But that's just the default now. Oh, wait a minute. Is that why she was acting so weirdly cat-like? Not just... Huh. I'm thinking specifically of that moment where, she went back into the air ducts after fighting Zex for a little bit. Was she doing that because these two AI could see everything around her? Did she want to limit how much of, her friends she saw because she didn't want to report too much? That would make sense. Right, yeah, just like how she, came back from the cold darkness of Absolute Zero. She has no more time to think about this. She has to define what she is right now. And it has to be, fully defined. Which, again, explains why she came back with wings and a tail. Or, specifically with the wings added on. Ooh, that's also really cool. Yeah, a day up here takes less than a minute in the real world. Because we know, it took a little while before she showed up. So that means that, I guess all that time could just be her, working on it, thinking about it. That also adds a lot of weight to it. This isn't a snap decision. Even if she's, changing what she inherently is because of this decision. It's something that she had to think about for a long time. There was no, there's no excuse for it. She can't blame it on one of them. It's all her. Oh, man. These are some heavy questions that the series has been asking, but Alita herself has not been asking them, which I think is a really interesting distinction. For most of the series, most of the franchise, I should say, she has not been a philosophical person. She does deal with philosophical concepts, but most of the time, it's someone like Nova who actually, deals with it and tries to, come to a conclusion. Ah, the more I think, the more confused I get. And yeah, and when she came back, she was crying, and Colonel Payne was, telling her, hey, are you gonna regret doing this? So, God, 3 whole days. And I do appreciate this as well. The fact that the two of them weren't badgering her. They were just talking to themselves or to each other for 3 days. 3 more days passed. Oh my god. Right. I've had a machine body since before I could remember. It was never mine to begin with. That also does add layer to it. Like, I think I said that last reaction. But this idea that it's not just now that she is living, with something borrowed. That what she is not her body. It's been like that ever since she was a child. Does that mean my life was never my own? Aw. Hey, Erica. Also, weird place for me to say this, but yes, I do, like, I know now her name is Erica. Someone in the comments told me. I I guess Alita Quest could involve her, actually. Like, we did see her. It's very possible that she'll show up either in this volume or in the next one. But yeah, I do think she is Frau X. Okay, so she's she is finalizing it as, like, whatever. It doesn't matter what I am me, right? Hmm. Ooh, I like that too. I recently rewatched Watchmen, and there's something I really like about this idea of someone who like someone who lives in a world where like someone can look into the future. They can look and see what fate has in store for them. But that for that person, for whatever reason, like fate will not allow like fate cannot see it. I think something about that is really affirming. Like, it allows you to have a world where destiny exists, but at the same time, people's choices do matter. Because there are some points where, yeah, like, destiny exists, but no one can actually look into the future to see what you'll do. Alright. Even if I'm a chip, I'm still human. Alright. You are hereby appointed the secret agent, Last Order. Oh boy, okay. One more meaning to Last Order in the chapter named Last Order. Or rather, I guess the chapter's named after her then. Ooh, okay. Ah, yeah, I was focusing mostly on the wings, but I just noticed, yeah, this is definitely a cattail too, right? It looks more like a snake tail, but still, I get it. That is so cool. And yeah, if she has the wings now, she can pilot it away. Ah. Only a few noticed that the onion frame had avoided collision with the lunar surface. The onion frame was later discovered orbiting Luna, but Alita was nowhere to be found. So, is that the end of the chapter? No. Okay. Huh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. So Ito and Figure 4 are traveling together somewhere. Tifa has almost fell or something. Don't know if it's true. Okay. Huh. Are they on Alita Quest? Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna start Alita Quest next chapter. I don't. I guess the main thing I want to say about this is that this does remind me a lot of the chapters that came out that were later retcons. I think in English they were Another Battle. In those ones, there's that big thing at the very end where Alita turns herself into nanomachines. And like she doesn't do this. She does something else involving, Ketherez and saving everyone. And the more I talk about it, the more I realize, yeah, this is definitely like not necessarily a reinterpretation of that, but it follows the same theme as it. It's a similar concept. And I think that's really cool. Ah. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't know if she's going to come back, if that her is gone, if they're going to find her. Let's read some Alita Quest and see where it leaves us. Because, like, right now, it's so ambiguous that I don't even think I'd have fun speculating right now. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so 11 months earlier, jumping backwards, I'm not totally sure where that would land us. Like, Like, is this at the start of Last Order? It could even be before Last Order, actually. Alright. Back to Figure and, Taro 4. Huh. Because isn't Figure 4 supposed to be a reference to the fighting move, or, like, the lock, specifically? Huh. I mean, his martial arts are getting a lot better, that's for sure. Oh, okay, so he's already told him, like, yeah, I'm gonna marry Alita. Okay. Yeah, so Barjack is definitely over. This places it somewhere near the end of the original series, at the very least. Oh, at this point, 2 months have passed since it ended. 2 months. So would that be within Last Order? Hmm. I feel like it, because that last volume or so, like, all that stuff happened pretty quickly. Like, between War Chronicles and the actual last volume. Hmm. Oh. I paid good money because it belonged to the Angel of Death. Oh boy. Hmm. Okay. I mean, there's a very real possibility that Figure is going to come across Alita's corpse. That is absolutely true. Her corpse exists canonically on the ground somewhere, having been blown up with a bomb. Aww. Okay, that's real cute. I didn't say anything about it, but I was a bit bummed out that his master was so like, hey, cybers suck. But to be fair, the two of them do, like, I mean, I assume he does as well. They study a martial art designed to kill cybers, to kill like androids and cyborgs. So I can absolutely understand why he'd be, a bit prejudiced. Fair enough, but he's willing to push it aside for Figure. Aww. Okay. Hang the railway gun. So that leads us to whatever's happening in the cover page. Oh, is this guy just the person in the background? I guess it could be. Oh, I really do love how lived in this feels. Like, in general, I do like the idea of a lived in future. The Star Wars aesthetic, or like even Alita. Like early Alita still feels like that. The scrapyard's very lived in. But I think I like it more when it is something we've actually seen. And it's not even like, something and then we see a flashback that shows us how it got there. I love it when series will just come back to certain locations to say, like, hey, remember this? It's been hundreds of chapters. It's been a long time in universe, like ever since, or like in reality, ever since you read it, even if you're marathoning it. Something about that is just, it's such good fictional nostalgia. I really like this guy. Isn't like he's not a fanatic. He's not like reformed either. He's just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, hey, I brought you here. I knew this. I like that he did that. I assume not for any pay or anything, but just for the satisfaction of being able to help someone and being able to share some knowledge that you know. All right, so Bashaku is. That's not where Ito is though. I don't remember exactly where Ito was, but I do know it's not this place, right? I don't remember that name at the very least. Ooh, this is so beautifully detailed. There's I think these were the generators that powered Heng, weren't they? Or like something similar at the very least. I remember seeing those like in some of those pictures that were taken. There's a place that just says lunch. Maybe an amputee dog? I'm not sure what this is. Oh wait, no, that's just a parasol here, presumably for whatever's being sold here. There's a water place. I guess this guy's in here just to show like, hey, guess what? It's not toxic. Even though I'm wearing a full body suit. Okay, it was a nuclear locomotive. That's right. They may have had it near Hang, or maybe I'm just thinking about their base. But I thought there was a moment where like Koyomi and the other guy who was like a war chronicler were there, and they took that big shot of Hang with like the boiler in the background. Oh, she was riding a weird bike just yesterday. I'm not sure if that lines up quite right. My main problem here is I'm pretty sure he's going to run into one of the AR series. That's the main thing. Oh, yeah. Her forehead's all taped up though. That's not Alita. Definitely not. Also, because I mean, we didn't see her meet Figure, so. And I do like that she said she's after my life. I feel like I know the AR series doesn't like they have some of Alita's memories, but they don't have like the spirit of Alita. They can branch off and be different people. So I do think she is deceiving Figure, but maybe there's something in the back of her head, like she doesn't want to take too much advantage, but she still wants to take some advantage. Maybe, perhaps. Who is this? Oh, wait a minute. This is Zex, isn't it? Like early Zex. Should I call Zex a male when I know like he hadn't chosen those pronouns at this point? Oh man, I guess I will just stay with the pronouns we know right now. All right, Alita Quest 2. Ooh, the chapter 108. Oh, geez. Okay, that's one heck of a jump. Come on. Oh, oh no. First of all, it's definitely Zex. That is his custom blade. Second of all, he just saw the person he loves die minutes after finding her. Jeez. That is... Ooh. Okay, this was number 4. Oh! Hey, so Zex even, like, bothered to tell him about it. That's actually very surprising. Like, I feel like modern Zex probably wouldn't have, like, bothered with it. But then again, like, do they all still have Alita's memories? Because if so, I could see it being a bit of a sentimental thing. Like, hey, don't worry. Or it could just be her trying to avoid a fight. It's like, hey, I don't want to fight you. Don't go seeking revenge. That's not really her. Okay, so yeah, she definitely has some residual memories. Next time you see her, tell her I'll be coming to kill her. Oh boy, okay. I'm actually really interested in who would win here. Because this isn't modern Zex. This is like Zex where Sexter Engriff was sort of a thing, I guess. Like he had it before meeting Alita for the first time, as far as I remember. But it wasn't very well developed. So this is basically just Alita at that time, or Agent of Tuned Alita versus Figure. And like we saw them fight before. So I think he genuinely could beat Zex. Oh no. Oh man. Okay, so he definitely was hit, right? Oh my god! Okay, what the fuck? Oh. Oh, jeez. I mean, it's not like this is the worst injury we've seen in Alita thus far, but that took me off guard. Oh, damn. Oh, was it to his brain? Oh, that was a bad idea. Yeah, he doesn't have a brain to rattle. Okay, huh. Was that sent down by someone or not? Because Tuned does have like it depends on what the timeline is. I guess right now, if it is, end of Alita, everyone's freaking out over having brain biochips in them, no one would have bothered sending down a bolt of lightning. It could have just been Fates. Because now that I think about it, the end of Rainmaker did the same thing. Like, no one sent the dumping of fish, or whatever it was. That was just a weather phenomenon, as far as I know. So I guess it could have just been Fates. Ooh, Farm 21. Okay, yes, and I did see him out of the corner of my eye. Okay, Ito is here. All right. Oh, boy, I really, does he have his arm with him? I don't think so. But I don't want Figure to be a cyborg. Like, I really do love that Figure is one of the only completely non-augmented fighters in the entire series. Here's your chance to take your pick. Good, better, best. Oh boy. That said, like, this isn't a gag. He might legitimately get these crappy pincers. Like, one thing I do love about the aesthetic of cyborgs and Alita is that no one's weird just for... I mean, never mind. Some people are weird for the sake of being weird. I was about to say, no one does that, but then again, I just remembered Rakan. Though even he, I mean, he had a genuine mental health problem, so I shouldn't be saying that. But, like, I do appreciate that parts like this do exist. Like, not everyone has the money for a really nice arm like this. So there are, parts that don't look very human, or parts that are just, clearly meant to just, take some wear and tear without having to be replaced. And, like, those exist for the people who need them. It adds an interesting aesthetic where, like, yeah, the people who look better are the people who are more fortunate, or who, are just in a better place in life. The people who look, really weird, downtrodden, or so downtrodden that they can't even afford to, have normal arms. Something about that really gets me. Oh, and he even bothered, like, reading her, his forehead. Alita's kind of adoptive dad is finally meeting Alita's kind of adopted, like, wait, why did I say adopted? Kind of boyfriend, or actual boyfriends. They did commit to being with one another. Though Ito doesn't have his memories right now, so never minds. Aww. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, that was, like, it's a cyborg. It was something created to be like Alita. It is, like, it's like seeing a copy of the person you love being killed, and she never did anything bad, to be honest. Like, she kind of deceived him by, not saying, hey, I'm not Alita. But at the same time, she was just trying to live. And she didn't try to harm him or anything. So, fair enough. Oh, that's not a great sentiment. Taking them apart for recycling is the proper thing to do. I mean, I think I'm okay with them. The general, like, you should recycle parts. I think the same thing with fully functional humans. You should, like, donate organs and stuff when someone dies. But that doesn't mean the dust to dust doesn't apply. Oh, he actually chose the middle of the road one too. Fair enough, because I guess he doesn't have that much money. He just has whatever that sack was full of. Yeah, he's now a cyborg. But I'm interested to see how he'll relate to it, like having been someone who hates cyborgs, or someone who, like, at the very least trained to fight cyborgs for so long. Oh, okay, that's actually very practical. Recycling fake Alita's parts would have covered it. So it wasn't just that she was like, hey, it doesn't matter, you should have, taken her in, she's just a thing. Part of it was also like, that would have been the practical thing to do. Hey, maybe we could have even given you one of her arms, which is probably a lot better than this. Oof. Something tells me he won't be here for years. Though, actually, I don't know. He could. He easily could. Like, for all I know, next chapter will have the flash of lights, and then Alita Quest will begin, and he will have said, like, hey, I will be here for the rest of my life, but I need to go do something first. Man, even when he's badly injured, Figure looks very handsome. Like, it's a weird thing to say, but it's because he has such a typical, normal human body. Even with, one artificial arm. Like, he just looks so normal compared to a lot of the other characters in the series. Or, like, he looks very traditionally attractive, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, testing out the arm? Oh, oh no. I mean, they did say 5 weeks to heal. God damn, he just committed to paying for that, too. Oh, jeez. I guess it makes sense, like, it would open up the wound because it's not like, actually, I'm very curious. How would that work? Because it wouldn't be like they cauterize the wound, because, like, all of those nerves have to attach to the metal, like, to the mechanical arm. But then how do they deal with the blood? Like, would they have just soldered all those wounds closed? Why did I say soldered? But yeah. I'm really curious about that. Like, I don't know if I want to see, like, a full page of nitty-gritty cyborg surgery, but that does interest me. Oh, and she's also giving him the really nice arm. You want me to go into debt and become a serf? Ooh, okay. Huh. That's actually a very surprising sentiment. Like, is she just saying that to get rid of him, though? Because clearly she had no real love for Alita when they last met. Oh no, poor guy. Oh, I used to be Barjack's military doctor. Okay, yes, please. I hope Figure stays and listens. I want to know more about him. I was just talking about surgery. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I do like how, like, clearly he's an unreliable narrator. Like, he's whitewashing his backstory, but it's, a lot darker than anticipated. At the same time, I don't know if I mean, I guess if he did this to, the family dog, that is pretty bad. I mean, I have a weird take on it because this is a world where cybernetics, is up to this level where the average, like, maybe not the average person, but you don't need that much training to successfully turn someone into a cyborg. But at the same time, he clearly did without his parents' consent or the dog's consent. Oh man. And the the louder OGs was because it looks like they're just beating him to death with a oh, what are those called? Not a trident, but a thing to pick up hay, and what looks like a baseball bat or a sword. Like, jeez. Oh, he invented the socket soldiers. Okay. That's really interesting because that did feel like something that was, like, it was so gritty. It didn't feel like something that a normal person would have made. It makes sense that more of a mad scientist type would have come up with something like that. Like, not just the traditional socket soldiers that just plug into bodies. That's kind of normal. But, like, specifically the ones that screw onto, like, missiles. That felt very mad scientist-y. In the human mind, there is no boundary between sanity and insanity. There are only the 1,000 faces of madness. Oh my god. Okay, so, yeah. I really like that phrase. It's very rare in any series that a character will say, this phrase changed my life, and then you hear the phrase, and I think, oh yeah, that would change my life. Like, even if obviously I don't mean that as in change my life, I mean, like, I find it hard to empathize with that. But I think this is really well done. Like, I can absolutely empathize with him as much as a crazy mad scientist as he is. I can see how Nova, like, plus it's the fact that it is Nova. Like, I'm sure this isn't just a phrase he came up with, in order to sway this person onto his side. I think this is something that Nova genuinely thinks of. It's something that gives him solace, and I can see how it would connect to someone else who was very similar to him. I mean, Nova was designed to be a mad scientist, or like at the very least a genius by Tiferes, but still, like, they do feel like two very similar people, just in very different situations. Den tried to change the world through might, but even if the world changed, our miserable suffering would still exist. Only Master Nova can change awareness, give a new name to pain and suffering, and lead our souls to a new plane of existence. I mean, I can't lie, I'm very interested in his Karmatronics as well. It does feel like, as much as he is potentially the final villain of the series, or like Supernova might be, at the same time, like, I am so intrigued by what he is. I do think, like, in the end, what he's doing might be correct in the grand scale of things, which is a crazy thing to think of. But, like, the more the series goes on, the more I see his side of things. Even if his side of things is mostly just, being crazy and doing experiments, like, he's researching the most important thing in the world. Huh. Oh, I have a theory. What is this theory? Legend says Nova the Messiah had 2 loyal servants. Oh no, I see what's happening. The Doctor, now calling himself Ito, is without a doubt our Messiah, Destinova. Of course, he has the forehead marking of someone from Tiferes, and I really do like, though, that that we see the silhouettes of the actual Eli and Barzalds. Like, I really appreciate that from a storytelling perspective. So if you forgot, it's very clear these aren't the same people. Oh no, I really liked him, and like, I guess I will still like him for now, but I can see how this is gonna go real wrong. They're gonna do something horrible to him. Actually, I could see them just saying like, oh, your memory's gone, but we know that you're immortal. We know that you have something set up that'll bring you back, so we're just gonna kill you. Huh. Okay, yeah, so that's the theory that he brought up, so... You're Destinova, aren't you? And of course he wouldn't know that because the two of them have never met, despite being so important to Alita. That's so crazy to me. Like, I've said before, I really like how Alita does go through different casts of people. That, like, she has had all these different, like, supporting crew members throughout her life. And so you can do something like this, where these two people were very important male figures in her life, but they've never met until right now. That feels so insane to me. And of course, like, she knows the truth about Nova, so of course she'd defend him. It does seem unnatural. It would make sense if I'm actually Nova and I erased my memory and assumed a different identity to hide something. Yeah, like, he's not a dumb person. That does make a lot of sense. And Kana's the only person who can dispel this. Because, yes, that's right. There is proof, there is, but I can't show it to anyone. It's the, it was like the last thing he recorded prior to, like, wiping his memory after he, learned about the brain biochips and he freaked out. Oh man, this is a spicy thing to do. Oh jeez. And now there's like, they're outwardly begging in the streets. Begging for the final solution. Oh no. In any other series, I would laugh that off as being like, oh, that's an unfortunate way of phrasing it. But no, I feel like Kishiro knows exactly what he's doing with that phrasing. But yeah, I mean, he is crazy, but at the same time, I can understand why it is that, he would want that. Nova really was the messiah of insanity. And this does feel like it. I love it because it feels like a genuine actual plot twist in the series. Like, yeah, of course, Ito would be Nova. He's not, but I can see how you would come to it after knowing Nova for even a little bit of time. Oh, it might not even be them specifically. Like, it could, like, especially because of this, like, there must be some secret that must be kept, I understand. I feel like it's not going to be his followers that are going to be the problem here. It's going to be people who hate Destinova. Oh, no. Oh, I hate stories like this. Not because I think they're bad stories, but because I understand them too well. It's so frustrating. Yeah, because I can never be mad at people like this who are like, yeah, I have a genuine grievance that has to be aired out. Because it's like, yeah, you have every right to do that. It's just the person you're going to let out your rage on is not the correct person. Ah, oh jeez. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, he's been there for 3 months. Okay, so we're getting closer and closer, but we still have like half a year left before they catch up to the current time frame. Huh. Yeah, it was very obvious. Oh no. Oh, they've come. They've come. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a really good cover. Oh my gosh. What a what a page turner from this to this. Kill Nova. I love it too because like thematically, I doubt they really have like target setup like this, but thematically, it fits really well as a cover page that's also part of the chapter. Oh my god. Hmm. Okay. I've lost my sympathy for them. I was sympathetic up until the point where I thought like, oh, they're going to specifically seek out Nova and kill him. But no, if they're just going to maraud around and kill everyone, like, I've lost my sympathy. Oh, and of course, like that's what Dr. Ito is like. Of course, he would sacrifice himself if it meant, not killing other people. That's true though. Like regardless of anything else, just by being a Tiferian doctor, he could save so many people. It's more important to keep him alive for now. Also, I just wanted to share that this is still Alita Quest. Like, this is not what I expected from Alita Quest. But I do appreciate it because, like, the series is all about this karmic spiral, like, around Alita herself. It makes sense to have a arc that is, like, just about everyone else, everyone she's left in her wake. So, like, I'm not complaining about it, but it just sprung to mind that, oh yeah, that's what this is. This is real, not what I expected. Also, I do appreciate that in the end, he was not a malicious person. Or, I mean, he's a malicious person in a sense, but not in this specific situation. That's right, she can still fight. Oh boy. Oh, I mean, are you going to be able to salvage anything from in there, though? Oh, come on, Kana, get whatever it is you need to get. Okay, so she's getting that. So that does make sense. Like, in order to stop him from potentially killing himself, they need to watch that video. He needs to get his memories back. Ah. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, it hurts, it hurts. Help me, don't want to die. Are they going to be okay though? Like, maybe they'll just get away from the city with it being fully destroyed, but I feel like these bandits are definitely going to find them. Like, this is going too well, actually. Oh, that's true too. I was thinking of it just on a personal term of, you can't save these guys, but like they'll get away and then give Ito back his memory. But potentially, like if there's a good piece of audio on it, she could just broadcast it. Oh, that is gorgeous. I really, really like the stark black and whites here for their silhouettes and for the water, like next to the super nicely shaded smoke from the fire and the burning buildings and whatnots. Like a lot of Alita has very, very good arts, but this in particular, this might change. I might change my backgrounds. Ever since I forget which phase this was, but ever since I saw it, this has been my background for so long. It has been insane, but I think I might finally change it to something else that is from Last Order. That is ridiculous. All right. They may talk about just cause, but a mob can turn people into monsters. I mean, this all started because, someone was airing out his personal hatred of Destinova, but once they got here, they immediately started killing innocent people. Oh, man, there's no good going on here. There's no benefit. This is all for nothing. It's only hurting people. Oh boy. Now this is a bad situation. I never imagined you were Nova, and he has no real rebuttal to it. He's not going to say he isn't. And he's surrounded by people who also believe he's Nova. Okay. Give him first aid. What can happen here? Soldiers hunting for Nova. Here's the big, like, is he really going to say stand down, or is he going to say, Nova's here, kill him? All right, it was option 2. Nova's here, kill him. Oh, jeez. Because, yeah. Oh, this sucks, though. This really does suck. I mean, as much as there are, people here who are genuinely just awful people killing innocents, for the most part, this is just a horrible misunderstanding. And they keep pointing out not just that the reactor is here, but also, like, there's a warning here. I feel like it's going to go off. I mean, I know that's not how nuclear reactors work, but maybe they do in this future. Or, like, even if it doesn't explode, like, maybe there's going to be a leak. That would be bad enough, honestly. Alright, Phase 113, Alita Quest 7. We've got more of the Screw Soldiers, potentially? Like, it's weird they're coming up here, as opposed to in the chapter where, like, their origin was mentioned. Do they still have some, perhaps? Hey! They're right here. I love this. Alita doesn't do this very often, but I love that in multiple times now, we've had cover pages that are canonical. Like, it works as its own, like, individual cover image that, not sums up the chapter, but, like, it's just a nice visual. While at the same time, it fits in with, like, what happens next. I love that anytime a manga does it. I know it's very, very simple, but it makes me happy every time. Ah, yeah, this is madness. But it's pretty cool to see them as, like, ally characters. I mean, even during the Barjack Rebellion, they weren't enemy characters as much as they were just, like, they were people in a horrible situation. So I guess that's why I've always had a fondness for them. Ooh, that's a very old-looking car. Like, just in terms of design. It is pretty crazy, though, to think that not Nova himself, but just the idea of Nova, like just a tiny fraction of his karma that got out of hands, has caused all of this to happen to a place that ideally should have just, been a peaceful village forever. That's so awful. No matter what horrible things you may face, don't lose sight of yourself. All right. Oh no, I feel like Kanan's gonna die here. Because, again, we have that flash forward. I know Ito and... that's right. I was just gonna say, like, Ito survives. So he's not gonna die here, but that also was not a flashback where Kanan was in it. So, oh boy. I'm real scared now. Huh. I wonder if we'll get any backstory for this guy specifically. Like, we've seen this design a few times in this volume. So, it feels like it's going to be the main boss character of this volume, so to speak. Oh dear. How's he getting out of this one? Oh, okay, finally! Someone who recognizes him as not being Nova, which means this is someone or something that has met the real Nova. Most likely another victim, maybe a weapon designed by him? Like, it could just be another Makaku situation, where he just decided to create something crazy. But I'm feeling like it's... I mean, I guess that falls under the umbrella of his, mad experiments. Yeah, is he a survivor of Nova's experiments? Oh, geez, this place is not gonna last much longer. Come on. Like, if you're gonna do this, do it outside. Alright. Oh no, Kana, come on, don't die here. Like, realistically speaking, it's not like she has to die here. It's very possible that she'll just... oh, I forgot to put up the... There. It's possible that she'll just stay in the village and help it rebuild after all is said and done. Like, after it comes out that this is definitely not Nova. Come on, don't get yourself killed. Alita Quest 9. I feel like this has got to be the final chapter in the volume. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this thing must be hell to travel with. At first I was thinking of it as like, oh yeah, it's great that it's so heavily armored. It'll keep him safe, but this must be ridiculous to try and drive. We meet up with Lady Eli. Wait a minute, she's around still? First of all, I don't want to give Ito to her. But yeah, There's nothing wrong with leaving her behind. She wanted to do it. She wanted to save him. Come on, I'm rooting for her. What? Okay. So it's 3 people, but it seemed like it was 1 in terms of how it spoke. Okay, so... Oh, and that's why we saw the parrots before. Okay, so there's one of them who is lucid, who is, like, controlling the whole thing. There's one person who's been driven, like, just mad with rage. That might also contribute to why this thing is such a death weapon. And then she looks like the peaceful one. But why is she here then? Oh, and she even said, I gotta feed the birds. Oh, so she wasn't saying it because she fed the birds in the past. She's saying it because she recognizes Kana. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is awful. Like, yeah, that definitely makes me hate Nova a bit more. I was very swept up with his, his way of seeing things. And to be fair, we've seen a lot of his philosophy without a lot of his horrible things as of late. Like, just due to the way the story's been playing out. But this is definitely a big wake-up call. Like, oh my god. Right, is this my punishment because I tried to pretend the past didn't exist? As much as I want Kana to survive because I've grown attached to her as a person, at the same time, I think this would be a fitting way for her to die, honestly. And yeah, like, the cycle of hatred continues. The one, like, person here who knows that, yeah, this isn't actually Nova. At the same time, he's like, well, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's not Nova. I still don't trust him. I'll kill him too. Oh. Oh, boy. I don't care whether you live or die. I just live so that I can be happy. I can appreciate that. Like, she is a selfish character, especially the fact that, yeah, she did chase off Alita. She has been hiding the truth from Ito this entire time just so she could be happy, like, so he could be happy, which in turn would make her happy. But at the same time, like, I can appreciate that. That's a very human thing. That's a very human motivation. Oh. Also, can we appreciate the artistry of this? Usually, when you see a strike about to hit, it doesn't actually lead to a death. Like, if you don't see the death on this page, generally the idea is that you flip the page and, it gets blocked. That's what I thought going, before I flipped it. But no, it was just an impact. It was just done to sell the impact harder. I can definitely appreciate that. Wait, what? Okay. Is Kana on fire here, or is she turning into a digital being? That said, like, yeah, this is the end of the volume, so I think this is meant to be ambiguous as to what in the world is happening. Like, she is mostly mechanical, so this could be some weird function of hers. I guess we'll leave it there. Like, if she was on fire, I feel like she would be drawn the same way that the buildings were on fire. Where, like, there's a big aura around her, and then her body itself is very dark. So, I guess I'll leave it on there. Okay, this is really cool. Like, I was just talking about this with Dr. Stone, but I really love it when series have a big map that lets you say, like, hey, this is how things work. Like, this is where everything is. All right, so that's where the Ice Age happened. It's so crazy too to think that we saw the Ice Age. Granted, it wasn't a flashback. It wasn't linear like I was talking about before. Like, but at the same time, I do have some nostalgia for it now, just because we have seen it, because it has been a couple of volumes since then. Oh, this is so well done. I love it. Oh, does it not have labels for all of these other points like F26, F25? Oh wait, no, never mind. Those are all farms. So they wouldn't have individual names. It's just like, this is farm 3, this is farm 2. Okay. Fair enough. It's interesting that they also, like, they're not in a linear format at all. It seems more like they were just established, like, radiating out from the, out from Scrapyard, like, from the Scrapyard / Tifres. Like, this was the first one, then they were like, okay, let's not do one there, let's go somewhere else. Yeah, it's really cool. Alright, so that was Battle Angel Alita, Volume 18. I feel like Last Order and Alita Quest could be split up into 2 different discussions, so I'll say that with Last Order, I mean, I mostly talked about it already. I think it's an interesting end. It doesn't feel conclusive, but I feel like it's not supposed to be. It leaves us on this big question of, well, Alita did what she did. That was the big sacrifice. It's also, on a meta level, the same sacrifice she made in another battle. So, is she gone? Like, when we get Alita in the future, perhaps, will it be from the brain, or will her brain biochip have, like, fallen to Earth? Who knows? From there, we have Alita Quest, which has not been about Alita, which I really like. I don't know if the series is going to like like I don't know if Alita Quest is going to continue all through the next few volumes, or I think we only have one volume left. Yeah, we do. So is it going to be the rest of next volume, or is it going to be like half of it? I feel like Alita Quest will end with them getting to Alita. Like, I feel like this is a quest that is named because of the conclusion, because of the reward at the end, so to speak. In that case, I don't think that we really need to see her at all until the very end. I think that'd be a great way to end the series, honestly. Like, just the idea of, hey, she's back. Or even like, hey, her story will continue on as we go into Mars Chronicle, which I think is just a prequel. But like, just leaving it off with, yeah, she is still alive. Let's not keep it ambiguous, like the transition from the original series to Last Order. Okay, so that's about all. I don't want to repeat myself. I am very excited for the final volume. Uh, I am currently recording this a bit before Christmas, but we'll see how it goes. I want to get all of Alita done before the end of the year, and I think we are well on track for it. As of when I'm recording this, I know I'm like 1 or 2 videos behind, but it's all for the sake of not like filling up your feeds. So hopefully I'll continue doing 2 at a time, and we will get this done. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Please feel free to talk to me about Alita, or wait until the very last volume if you want to talk to me about Last Order as a whole. I would love to do that. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Bye for now. Yeah, yeah.